first of all, we need to define what an inverse relation is. An inverse relation is a set of ordered pairs by exchanging the x coordinates with the y coordinates. So basically, the easy way to find an inverse is you flip the x and the y, and that's it. So if I look at here, it says find the inverse of each relation. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to first of all start with set notation, which is that little squiggle mark. And then all I'm going to do now is switch the x and the y. So instead of 4, negative 10, I now have negative 10, 4. Instead of 7, negative 19, I have negative 19, 7. Instead of negative 5, 17, what do you have? 17, negative 5. And instead of negative 3, 11, I have 11, negative 3. That is how you find an inverse, and that is your answer. Okay? Should be pretty straightforward. It's not anything overly difficult. So this one, I want you to tell me what the inverse of this one will be.
8, negative 6.
Okay? Yep. Yep.
6, 0.
Good job. So that's how you find the inverse. You just flip them. There's no catch. There's nothing that's hidden. That's how you find the inverse. So let's go ahead and look at this. It says graph the inverse of the relation. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to switch the x and the y. So to switch the x and the y, the easiest way is to find specific points on the graph. So I'm going to pick a point here. I'm going to pick another point here and another point here. Those are just 3 points. The reason why I picked those is because those are easy to spot. Now I'm going to write the coordinates of each of those down. So what are the coordinates of this one? Negative 1, 1. What are the coordinates of this one? 2, 0. What are the coordinates of this one? 5, negative 1. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing I did on the previous slide. I'm going to switch those and put dots at the new location. So negative 1, 1. I'm going to switch that to what? So I'm going to go 1, negative 1. So there's my new dot. What am I going to switch this next point to? 0, 2. So here's where that dot's going to be located. And what about this 5, negative 1? Where am I going to move that? Negative 1. And there you go. And so now all I'm going to do is connect those dots, and that's going to be the inverse. So I'm just now picking 3 points. Okay? I'm flipping those, and then I'm going to draw the line through it. So if I go ahead and draw the line through it, there's what the inverse looks like. Okay? Let's go ahead and look at another one of those. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and just pick 3 of those, and you're going to do this as a class. So, let's do the coordinates here. What are the coordinates of this one?
0,
0,
2.
negative 2. What are the coordinates here?
1, 0.
Okay, and?
2, 2.
Okay. All right, I need somebody to come up and do the first point.
Oh, you write it in like a column?
Just do the dot. I already got the pink going, so you're good to go. So just go ahead and, there you go. Okay, next one. Yep, there you go. Okay. Got one more dot to put in. Sorry, there you go. Good. So all we need to do now is we just need to go ahead and draw our line through. And if you notice in this one, yes, I've got a point here that's the same in both, and that's fine. You can have that. So think you can handle that? Alrighty, so the last thing we're going to do is now actually take a function itself and then write it algebraically. And this is not tough if you follow the steps. Okay? How we designate an inverse function is we use that little -1 symbol. So f to the -1 of x. So that's kind of important that you get this down. This is what symbolizes an inverse. And so we've got our 4 steps. To find the inverse function, we replace f of x with y. Step 2 is to switch x and y. Step 3 is solve the equation for y. And then replace y with f inverse x. So I'll let you get those down. We're going to look at 3 examples, and this is not difficult if you follow the steps. Okay, so let's start. Find the inverse of each function. So first step, replace f of x with y. So my new equation is just going to be y equals 4x minus 8. It's the very first step. Step 2 is to switch x and y. So basically, I see a y, I'm putting an x. I see an x, and I'm going to put a y. Step 3 is to solve for y. So that means I want to get this y all by itself. So the first thing I need to do is add 8. So I end up getting x plus 8 equals 4y. What do you do now to solve for y? Divide by 4. Very good. So on the left side, I get x plus 8, all divided by 4, equals y. That's step 3. Step 4 is to just replace y with the inverse notation. So the left side stays the same here, and in place of y, I'm putting this. And that's it. That's how you find the inverse algebraically. Yes?
Is it just like switching like the y and the x and like doing extra work? Can't you just like just put like the 4 with the y, like leave the y on the side?
No, you're not going to get the same answer. I mean, this is about the easiest process that we can go through to find this. And you'll see that. The last 2, you'll start getting into a rhythm. So we've got f of x equals negative 1/2 x plus 11. So step 1, we replace f of x with y. Step 2, switch y and x. Step 3, yep, subtract 11 first. So x minus 11 equals negative 1/2 y. Divide by negative 1/2. What's the same as dividing by negative 1/2?
Oh,
Multiplying by
Negative.
-2. Yep, -2/1, same thing. So I'm going to multiply both sides by -2. So on the left side I get -2 times x minus 11. On the right side I get y. Final step is to do what?
Replace y with.
Yep. Now, you don't need to distribute that -2. You could if you wanted, or you could just leave it as -2 times x minus 11. Doesn't matter. And there you go. Okay, so far so good? We got one more to look at. Oh, let's go back. There we go. All right, you're going to do this for me. Okay? So, I'm going to need somebody to go ahead and do that first step. There you go. Okay? Step 2. Here. Yep, I can undo it. And then you can, there you go. Okay, step 3. Okay, go ahead and put the next, go ahead and put the next, yeah, there you go. Yep, and then what do you get? There you go. There you go, good. Okay, who's going to do the next one? Good job. That's okay. We'll see it on the next step.
So we need to
Do the next, just right below. Yep. Yep. Equals. Okay. Who's got the next one? The final one.
You can read it.
Well, I'll just write it below. It's right here. Wherever you see the pen is where you're going to write. So like, yeah, that's where the pen will start writing. There you go.
Okay, so.
Yep.
So hard.
Yep, just write it lower. There you go. Good job. Equals. Nice job. There you go. Good job, guys. You guys actually did that quick. Okay, so 3 times x plus 7 equals f inverse of x. So questions. So first of all, with the ordered pairs, you switch them. When you graph it, you find 3 points, you switch those, and then we went through the last final steps. Here's what you need to do. Okay? Pages 267 through 268, 8 through 19, 22 through 31. Once again, you have enough time here where if you actually work, you should be able to get most of it done, if not all of it.
You want to